Hello and welcome to the Franklin County Varsity Sports Report. I'm Bobby C. I hope everyone's doing well here today. Well, I just want folks to know that the winter part two season is about to wind down. And people are really like, wow, it's really winding down already. It really is. And you know what that means? May is just around the corner, and that's when baseball, and that's when softball, and that's when track all begins for the spring season. So we want to let folks know that we have a lot to talk about here on the show, and I want to say thank you to Lisa Alber of Alber Hearing Services. She has been our sponsor since the beginning. I want to say thank you to her, located at 33 Riddell Street in Greenfield. She's online at alberhearing.com, alberhearing.com. All right, let's get things rolling for you here today. Well, last week, the Frontier boys team was taking on Hopkins Academy. Now, with the game tied 1-1, with 7 minutes to go in the game, the Red Hawks turned the ball over to Hopkins' Patrick Fitzgibbons. And yes, he ended up scoring, and Hopkins walked away with a 2-1 victory that happened in Hadley. So Hopkins picked up a victory against the boys of Frontier in a soccer game last Monday. Want to let you know that Cody West was the one who put the Golden Hawks on board first, 8 minutes in. And then all of a sudden, it changed. It sure did. It changed because all of a sudden, there was an opportunity for a goal for Frontier, and that's where Brady Birch ended up being able to score off an assist from Patrick Boynton. And then all of a sudden, there was another opportunity for, of course, Hopkins to win the game when it was tied 1-1. And that's when Patrick Fitzgibbons ended up scoring to give the Golden Hawks the win. Aiden Hernandez ended up having saves for Frontier with 7. Also, Owen Babb ended up having 4 saves in net for Frontier, as both those guys shared duties. And Jack Feltovic ended up with 5 saves for the Hopkins Golden Hawks. Also on Monday, it was Greenfield taking on Marhar in girls volleyball. And it was a very successful day for the Wave as they ended up winning. They won the first one, 25-10. The second set, 25-18. The third set, 25-14 to sweep the Senators. We want to let folks know that Corianne Callahan, she was a menace, and she ended up doing very well. How about 13 aces on the day? Cassie Maddie, she ended up with double-digit aces with 11 for Greenfield. And she also added 4 kills. Charisma Santana ended up with 5 kills, 4 aces. And Maya Mori ended up with a pair of kills, 3 aces in the win for the Wave. So congratulations to Greenfield. They beat Marhar in girls volleyball last Monday, 3-0. Frontier, Athol ended up beating the Pioneer girls. Final was 3-0. I can tell you that Athol won the first set. It was 25-17. Second set was 25-20. And the third set was 25-21. Looks like Carolyn Launder, she ended up with an impressive day. How about 17 digs for Pioneer to go along with 4 assists and 3 kills? And Aiden Wall ended up with 14 digs as well as an assist. And Lily Fye, as well as Emily Tibbetts, they celebrated senior night for the Panthers. So congratulations to those seniors. Now's the game that we were wondering how that was going to turn out between Frontier girls and Turner's girls, 2 very good teams. Well, it ended up being all Frontier in this one last Monday as they won 3-0. They won the first set, 25-14, the second set, 25-21, and the third set, 25-18. And by the way, we want to let folks know that this is pretty impressive. Olivia Rosewarne ended up recording 19 assists in this one. Rosewarne also made sure to be able to find people like Jillian Apenal as well as Charlotte Doulette and Lucia Doulette often, because those ladies ended up having 7 kills each. Also, Lucia Doulette ended up with 6 kills. And we also want to let folks know that Lilia Evans had 4 aces. Riley Eisler ended up with 7 digs in the win for the Red Hawks. Now, for the Thunder, it's Taylor Green ends up with 6 assists and 4 aces for Turner's Falls. Maddie Lamatanian, she ended up recording a trio of aces and kills, and Emily Young with a pair of kills. So Frontier picks up the win over Turner's Falls in girls volleyball last Monday, 3-0. Well, on Tuesday, it was all about the scoring for the Green Wave girls soccer team. And I mean often. How about 9 goals? That is pretty impressive, as they ended up winning 9-0 in a shutout over Athol. In the first half, I can tell you that Victoria Marin, she ended up with a hat trick, while Emma Savoy, she scored twice with 3 assists. It was an overall team effort, according to their coach, Tina Rydell. She said, we're finally coming together and playing like a team, which is amazing to see this transformation. We started off more individual, and now we're playing like a team. We're passing, moving the ball, and as you can see, we're getting success. Well, Carly Blanchard, she ended up scoring, and she ended up getting things going for her team. Also, we could tell people that Azamina Sesajanin, she ended up finding the back of the net. It was just a very successful day for the Wave. Also, Caitlin Lavoine and Eva Pruitt-Dahl also had a chance to score. So there was a lot of scoring going on, and it turned out to be a very successful day. Congratulations to the Greenfield girls on their success with that win back last Tuesday over Athol. Well, we want to let you know that Frontier ended up taking on Hopkins in girls soccer, and it was Frontier 3, Hopkins 1. Well, the Red Hawks did a nice job being able to get things done, and they did exactly what they needed to pull off the victory. Also, Cambry Hamilton scored the first goal for Frontier, putting one in just about 2 minutes into the game, and that was off of Hannah Mackin. Freshman Madeline Barnett, she tallied the second goal for the Red Hawks, scoring in the 16th minute, and that was off of Grace O'Leary, who gave the assist. O'Leary put them up 3-0 at the 52nd minute of the game, and that was a nice shot by her with an assist from Tia Fiden. So there you go. 8 stops by CC Green in the net, and the Red Hawks pick up the 3-1 victory in girls soccer Tuesday against Hopkins. Boys soccer back last Tuesday. It was the Pioneer boys playing against the Mohawk Trail boys, and that was a really, really good game. Coming out of halftime, trailing 2-1, the Panthers found a way to be able to get into the net, and that's exactly what they did to pick up this big win, and they did it on the road last Tuesday in Buckland. And I will tell you that this team from Mohawk is pretty good, and this team from Pioneer started off a little shaky, but boy, they're starting to play really good right now. It was a hard-fought game, according to Warriors coach Nick Brown. He said it was a tough one. We played pretty evenly, but they took advantage of opportunities. And Josh Glazier was credited with the opening goal of the second half for the Pioneers, for the Panthers, that is, which ended up being able to get his team back into it. But I'll tell you right now, the big blast was the one by Glazier that happened where his team was able to get the game winner and win 3-2. Talk about a guy who's been able to come on strong and really improving his game is Josh Glazier. He's a senior over at Pioneer. Great job by Josh to be able to give his team the victory. Keeman Ramirez, he lit up the scoreboard 11 minutes into the game. Also, that was an assist by Tyler Dubriel. And also, we want you to know that they were able to score one more time when Trey Frazier put a shot that ended up going through the arms. So really, there was great opportunities of scoring in this one. So congratulations goes out to Pioneer. Good win. Also, we want to let folks know that Greenfield ended up taking on Athol in boys soccer. That game was played on Tuesday. Final score was Greenfield 6 and Athol 0. Dante Rigiano and Henry Zakara ended up being the guys who scored a pair of goals to propel Greenfield to that 6-0 win. We also want to let you know that Alex Carbano had 4 saves in the first half. Matt Lavoine ended up with 1 save in relief. And there you have it, 6-0 Greenfield with a win over Athol. In girls volleyball, back on Tuesday, it was Turner's taking on Marhar. Final score was 3-0. as Steph Peterson ended up with 10 aces and a kill. And also Emily Young scored 6 aces, 2 kills, and also tossed in 4 assists as the Thunder pulled away with the win. It was 25-3 in the first set, 25-9 in the second set. Third set was 25-14. Taylor Green also distributed 5 assists, added a kill, and 4 aces in the win for the Thunder. So congratulations to the ladies. Well, the Pioneer girls, they ended up going into action on Wednesday in girls soccer, and they picked up a victory as they end up beating Athol 1-0. This turned out to be a very dominant game as the Panthers outshot the Bears 23-9. But I'll tell you right now, the goalie for Athol was the one who really kept her team in it. But the good news is that Pioneer was able to pick up the victory. It was because Haley Ring ended up scoring at the 33-minute mark, and that's all that they needed to pick up the win. So congratulations goes out to Pioneer with their win in soccer on Wednesday. Girls volleyball on Wednesday, it was Athol taking on the Pioneer girls. Final was 3-2, and it came down to the wire on deciding who was going to win this particular match. Well, Athol earned a 25-18 win in the first set. Then Pioneer responded with a 25-22 in the second set. The Bears came out strong in the third set. They won 25-7. Then the Panthers responded in the fourth set as they end up winning 25-21. And in the fifth set, it ended up going to Athol as they ended up picking up the win. Pioneer had an opportunity, but it wasn't enough as they came up just a little bit short. But a congratulations goes out to Athol and Pioneer. That sounded like it must have been a great match up there in Northfield. Also, we want to let folks know that on Wednesday, the Franklin County Tech, the girls team had a chance to be able to play the Mohawk girls in volleyball. And let me tell you, Renee Reed recorded 4 aces, 3 kills, 4 assists, and 5 digs. What an all-around effort it was for her as her team won the first set. It was 25-21, second set 25-12, third set 25-20. Emily Ryan, well, she led the Eagles with 6 kills to go along with 3 aces and a block. Faye Smith ended up with 4 kills, 2 aces, and a block. Also, Lillian Poirier finished with 7 aces, 1 kill, 6 digs, and 6 assists in the win. Also, we want folks to know that Sophie Guy had a pair of kills and a dig and 3 aces in the loss for Mohawk, as well as Emery King and Avery Hager each had an ace in the loss. Well, Frontier, I got to tell you something right now. Frontier, they are so dominant. Well, they had an opportunity to be able to play Turners one more time during the week last week. And that was a game that was played, and it turned out to be a pretty one for the ladies over in South Deerfield, as the Lady Redhawks win 3-0, just like it happened the first time. 8 Redhawks seniors had to say goodbye on senior night in South Deerfield. They end up winning the first set 25-9, second set 25-13, and then 25-18 in the third. We want to let folks know that the Redhawks had only seniors play the first and the third sets and then mixed in some of the youngsters in for the second set. So a big congratulations to all of those ladies. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get into playoffs. I can't imagine what this team could have brought if they were having a tournament this year, because the Frontier girls in volleyball definitely dominated in the bubble this winter. Also, we want to let folks know that Greenfield ended up beating Marhar. It was a nice one for them on Wednesday over in Orange. Here we go. It was the first set ended up being won by Marhar, and that was 15-25. Then it ended up being 25-14. They won the next one. They won the third set 25-21. In the fourth set, they won 25-23. So Greenfield picking up that victory over Marhar. Can let you know that Cassie Maddie ended up having 12 aces, 7 kills, and 7 digs. Corianne Callahan with 10 kills and 8 aces in a strong offensive night. Also, We want to say that Gianna Conti ended up with 7 kills, as well as 6 aces and 5 digs, and Charisma Santana with 7 kills, 9 aces for the win. So congratulations to Greenfield. Also, we want to let folks know that it was a bounce back performance that happened where after they got beat by Frontier, the ladies from Turner's Falls had to be able to get ready to take on a team from Orange, and that was Mahar. And I will tell you, they came out strong on Thursday, and they ended up winning, resulting in a 3-0 win. Got to tell you, according to their captain of the team for the Thunder, Emily Young, she said, it feels a lot better after what we had to go through and the defeat that we took against Frontier. It was nice because we were able to come back and play really hard, and we got it done here tonight. Emily finished with 7 assists and a pair of aces in the victory for Turner's Falls. Steffi Peterson ended up with 9 aces and a kill. Maddie Lamatanian ended up with 6 kills and 6 aces. So congratulations goes out to them as they were able to pick up the win. So Turner's winning in a nice rebound after getting beat by Frontier. Well, we also want to let folks know that the Franklin County Tech, they ended up having their match against Mohawk Trail. And what do you think happened? Well, after being down 2-0, the girls from Mohawk came all the way back, tied at 2-2, which means that they had to go to 5 sets. Well, it was won by the Tech. Let's run this one down. First set, it was the Tech, 25-12. The second set, the Tech won 25-15. Then it was Mohawk, 25-22. Mohawk, 25-22. And then it was the win. That's all it would take was an opportunity for them to win. The Tech school ended up doing it in the 5th set. What a great match that was. And that took place in Buckland. Also, we want to let you know that Maggie Charlton led the Eagles with 8 aces and a kill. Leah Chapman ended up pacing the offensive attack with 4 kills, 8 aces, and a kill. She also wanted to recognize some other girls here too. Madison Broder ended up with an ace, 2 kills, 3 digs. Madison Jackson with 4 digs and a kill. Octava Crawford ended up with 7 kills and 10 assists, as well as 9 aces and 1 dig. What an all-around performance for Mohawk. Also, Ellie Patnode with 5 kills to go along with a trio of assists and aces. Sophie Guy, she ended up with 6 kills. Also, 3 digs and 3 aces. Alex Lilly ended up with 7 digs, a kill, and an ace in the loss for Mohawk. Well, looks like it was one of those trips that really Pioneer didn't want to have to make, but they did. They made it to South Deerfield, and they ended up taking on Frontier in volleyball. You know, it turned out to be a really great opportunity for the folks over in South Deerfield to be able to watch this group of kids finish up their season in town before they started to head on the road. And here is how it worked out in this one. This is how set 1 went. It went 25-8. Set 2, 25-16. Set 3, 25-13. By the way, how about a perfect season for Frontier? They went 10-0 in the bubble. Like I said, I can't imagine what this team could have done if they had an opportunity to go into tournament play. But I want to run something down that I want folks to know about this particular volleyball team from Frontier. They normally don't play against the teams that they played here in the bubble. They play some of the real big teams that are based out of the Boston area. And that's what they've been doing for years. And they've always been able to do that. That's why that statewide tournament is always fun for Frontier, because it gives them an idea to see where they compare against the best teams in the state. And unfortunately, because of COVID, there will be no tournament for the girls to be able to go to this season, which really I feel bad about. All right. We want to let folks know that senior night on the road Friday night, as the Frontier football team had an opportunity to take on the team from Smith Vocational. And I got to tell you what, it was not a fun night. I mean, it was cold, it was windy, the temperatures weren't fun, and they played football in those conditions. But Frontier, they were on fire as they end up winning 42-0 against Smith Vocational. I can tell you right now that junior starting tailback, and what a great athlete he is, Josh Samaski, he ended up having a day. How about 4 touchdowns for this guy? That's right, 4 touchdowns. What a great day for him. You know, his coach said something so nice about him. He said it's the first game where we were able to put everything together successfully as a team. The other thing that was nice is the formations worked out really well. And we really wanted to see Josh be able to get the ball a lot and really see him show what he can do. The more touches he gets, the more he warms up and the better he is. Well, turned out to be pretty good. How about a 42-0 win for Frontier? That is a pretty big victory. Frontier senior quarterback Jake Dodge, well, was pulled after the first quarter. And I must tell you that he still had 67 yards rushing himself, and including a 45-yard touchdown run that ended up helping to build that lead. The nice thing is that other kids were able to get in there and get some playing time, which Coach Dredge was very happy about too, because all these kids have been working hard, practicing during this bubble and being able to play literally what we call winter football. Well, sophomore Sean Kirkendall, as well as freshman Ian Burt, well, they combined for 92 yards in the win. Kirkendall, well, he was navigating his way. He also was able to score a touchdown. So it turned out to be a very successful day for Frontier. And don't forget, Samaski with 4 touchdowns. Well, I had a chance to be a part of this game on Sunday. And I must tell you that it was very hard to watch. And I wasn't expecting what happened either. And that is the Greenfield Green Wave football team went into Athol for a noon game on a makeup from the Friday bad weather day with the snow that we had in the area. And yes, they ended up literally putting on a clinic. Final score was 58-0 over a team that was previously unbeaten. That's right, Athol was 2-0. Greenfield was 2-0 going into this game. And Greenfield over in Athol absolutely put on a clinic. And I want to tell you something. It wasn't just about offense. It was about defense. That is why they won the game. Talk about a couple of interceptions that were taken back to the house. Huge plays, guys that were absolutely dominating. And I'll tell you right now, the player of the game, the guy who was getting it done on the defensive end, Ryan Duclos. Ryan Duclos was in the backfield almost like he was a player for Athol. That's how dominant Ryan Duclos was on the game Sunday. Let's run down how that all worked out on Sunday for the scoring for the Wave. I can tell you that Marcus Sanders ended up with 4 touchdowns. Yep, 3 of those in the first half. David Carey scored a touchdown, and he was able to do it in many different ways. Yep, he was able to run one, he was able to catch one, and he even did one on defense as well. So a very dominating day. We also want to let folks know that Ryan Polzari, he ended up scoring a touchdown too in this one. It was just a very dominant game that was totally controlled by the Green Wave the whole time. Unfortunately, there was a few really tough injuries in this one, especially to key players of Athol. Should be interesting on when they end up playing their final game against Frontier on who will be able to play, because a lot of those kids got banged up back on Sunday. Also, we do have one more thing that we would like to share with you before we wind down our show here today, and that was an opportunity of getting honored for something that he was able to do this winter. Congratulations goes out to Kyle Barnes of the Greenfield hockey team. After winning the MIAA Division III state title back in 2019-2020, the Wave weren't able to play in the playoffs this year because of how everything went with COVID. So without the tournament, there was an award that was given to the best player in the Fay Wright division. That's right. It's called the Kevin J. Major Award. And this year, it went to Kyle Barnes. Kyle says that he was extremely happy when he found out. He said he was a bit shocked because he didn't even know that this award even existed. But he was happy and proud and thankful that he was able to bring something back to his team and to the coaches. Now, that is a classy guy right there. 11 games this season, he ended up scoring 20 points. He had 11 goals along with 9 assists. Another player that dominated this year for Greenfield as well was Devin Niles. But this year, that award went to Kyle Barnes. Barnes says that going into his junior year, he felt like he had the responsibility to be able to help and step up where some of these other players were leaving this team. He says that losing the top 2 goal scorers of the team, I knew that the pressure was going to be on for people to score, and I was glad to be able to come and step up and do what I could to help my team. While the postseason award would have been a better accomplishment, Kyle said that he would trade that award in for another state championship for the Green Wave, but unfortunately, that will not happen this year because of COVID. So congratulations to Kyle Barnes of the GHS hockey team for receiving the Majors Award. Well, there you have it, folks. That is our Franklin County Varsity Sports Report for this week. We had a lot of information we wanted to be able to share with you. I want to let you know that next week will be pretty much our final week of updates of what is happening for this Part 2 sports season as we get ready for the spring sports, which is baseball, softball, and boys and girls track and field. That is definitely going to happen, and that is just around the corner. So looking forward to that part, which will be coming up in a couple of weeks when the season gets started. But I want to say thank you once again to Lisa Albert of Albert Hearing Services. She does a wonderful job. She's our local audiologist and has been for 30 years here in this area. You can check her out, alberthearing.com, alberthearing.com. And of course, my producer, Philippe Simone, what will we do without him? We love Philippe. He's always been a big, huge part of this show and just continues to do it here on Greenfield Community Television. We also want to let folks know that there's many other places where you can find us, but all you have to do is just either tune in to Channel 15 or you can go to gctv.org. That's gctv.org. So until we get together again next week, I want to say thank you for tuning in to the Franklin County Varsity Sports Report. I'm Bobby C. Make sure you support our local athletes. Take care.